Welcome back. Welcome back to another Sip and Chill chat. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carletta, and here I speak on spirituality and self-awareness. So for this video today, I'm going to be talking about a few things that I learned from 2021. And there's a plethora of different things that I learned here and there, through ups and downs, facing challenges, whatever the case may be. But these are some of the things that came to mind as I reflected on this topic. And the first thing is lean in. So as I was driving not too long ago, I would say about a couple weeks ago, I saw on a license plate the words lean in. And that was something that really spoke to me. Leaning in, to me, is really getting into your experience, really allowing yourself to be present, allowing yourself to embrace whatever it is that you're being faced with, whether it's something that is pleasant or whether it's something that is painful. You have to allow yourself to lean in. It's the only way that you can get through, and life is about experiencing every emotion and every situation. When we allow ourselves to repress our emotions and we allow ourselves to run or to escape our reality, we're only faced with more of what we don't want or more of what we're running from. So that is number one. I can say that I learned the necessity of leaning in, developing resistance towards resistance. And there's a scripture that comes from Ecclesiastes 7:14 that says, "When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider God has made the one as well as the other." And I feel like this goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about. When it comes to leaning into difficulties, those are just as necessity as the good times. Without the bad times, there would be no good times, and vice versa. There are polarities in life. So I'm going to just leave it there. Lean in and embrace your situation. Go with the flow. Now, the second thing that I learned from 2021 is affirm only what it is that you want. And don't dwell on what it is that you don't want. You have to tune out the outside noise. And this means ignoring what the statistics say. This means ignoring what others' realities are. This means tuning out what you see, because sometimes what you see is not always as it appears to be. Simply have tunnel vision on what it is that you want to create, and only affirm the things that are in alignment with what you are trying to manifest. Now, I'm not saying be rude or, not consider other people's feelings or their thoughts or, be realistic. But sometimes when we feed too much into statistics and things like that, it eliminates our imagination. And imagination is truly the most important thing when it comes to attracting what it is that you desire. Your imagination is the most powerful part of your existence. Being able to visualize, being able to use your ideas and bring them into your life. That is a beautiful tool, and it can be watered down when you're so consumed with what's quote unquote real. So that's another thing that I learned. Affirm what it is that you want. Don't get caught up on the things that are going on, around you, because ultimately everything is a distraction. And if you believe something to be true in your heart, it is true for you, and it could come true. Now, the third thing that I learned from 2021 is your connection creates your perception of your reflection. I like rhyming. But, what I mean by this is your connection with God, your connection with Source, your connection with your higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. We all have something, that's bigger than us. We all know that there's something bigger than all of us. And our connection to Spirit, our connection to God is what keeps us in alignment and keeps us with a right mindset as well as a right sight. So even if you're faced with somebody or something that may be challenging for you, you're still able to see the good in that person. You're still able to pick up on the good from that situation. You're still able to see the light in the dark places of life. Your connection determines your perception of your reflection. So knowing that everyone and everything ultimately is a reflection of ourselves, both good and bad. When we have a strong connection with God, a strong connection with Spirit, we stay tapped in, our perception is always going to be on point. We can always see things clearly. So one of the things that I learned from 2021 is definitely to stay tapped in, stay in tune, develop that relationship with God, develop that relationship with higher power, and stay connected so that your perception is the way that it needs to be. And so much of how we see ourselves and how we value ourselves in relation to the divine determines how we see the world outside of us. So, yeah, that's something else I wrote along with this. How we see ourselves, how we are connected to ourselves, how we value ourselves, we cherish ourselves, determines how we treat other people. Determines how we see other people, determines our perception. And the last thing that I have here is do you. There is someone who will understand. And what I mean by this is, sometimes we can be faced with that doubt within ourselves. We can be faced with those questions that come up. Should I do this? Should I really put this out there? This is something that happens to creators. This is something that happens to us all. We all can have these moments of vulnerability where we feel like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But what I learned is that it doesn't matter where you are in your life or what you're going through. There's always somebody out there that can relate to you. And you never know who you may be impacting. You never know whose lives you may be touching. You never know whose life you may be changing simply by sharing your story, simply by allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to put your ideas or your voice out there. So do it anyway. Even if you feel like nobody is rocking with you, even if you may have to stand alone, even if, there are people looking at you crazy and they think you're nuts. Do it anyway. Continue to do you. Don't dim down your life for those that don't understand it. Know that there's somebody who will. So, with that said, that is pretty much it. Cut and dry. 4 things that I learned. Lean in. Develop a resistance to resistance. 2. Affirm what it is that you want. Exercise your imagination. 3. Stay connected. Your connection determines your perception. And for. Do you. Because there's somebody out there that you're going to touch. There's somebody out there that you're going to impact. And somebody is going to understand. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video today. I didn't really get to do much sipping, but I got my kombucha this time around. So cheers. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday. I hope that you have an amazing new year. And I hope that 2022 brings you all of your desires, your manifestations, all of the things that you want. I pray that it aligns for you. I pray that, you receive everything that it is that you want this coming year. So with that being said, I appreciate you all tuning in. As always, if you resonated with this video, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment in the comment section, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you in the next one.